Ella quiere farra, 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 farra. Ella quiere farra, farra, farra. Ella está soltera, no tiene alguien que la amarra. Farra, 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 farra. Ella quiere farra, farra, farra. Ella está soltera, no tiene alguien que la amarra. Ella quiere farra.
Downtown Vancouver, in the area where I very first slept on my first night. Look at that. Oh, the parking spots are full. The very first night I slept in my van, I slept right around that area right there. This is an area called Yaletown. It's very modern and upbeat and very young and ambitious. I don't know how else to explain it. It's a really beautiful part of Vancouver. I pulled my van up right here, the side of a super busy road. The ocean is just past those high rises right there. Brings back so much excitement and so many memories of the first night I slept in that van. And pulling down here tonight, my plan was hopefully finding a little spot that I could sneak in, whoop, right over there somewhere. Just feeling very nostalgic. I gotta Google that word. Am I even using that word right? It feels good down here. And I remember on my first night, I walked all the way down there because I hadn't eaten yet, and bought myself Subway for dinner because I hadn't had anything put in my cooler, or I really wasn't quite prepared my first night living in the van. So it was just a really awesome night, and I'll never forget it. I slept super well. I do really well with the buzz of the city though. Some people could never sleep on a street like this because the cars, they don't stop. Vancouver doesn't sleep at some point. It has a super slow time, usually between 4 and 5 in the morning. Other than that, there's always traffic from all the nightclubs and stuff like that, because the clubs usually go to about 3 o'clock out here. There's not a single parking spot anywhere. I like these moments. You know, when you get into the van and you've been in the van for this long, it's nice to bring yourself back to where it all started. I remember this night like it was yesterday. Just the excitement that was stirring inside of me, because it was like that borderlining, I mean, am I nervous? Am I excited? What's it gonna be like? People gonna hear me? That's why I chose to spend my very first night right here, because I knew there was a buzz around me. There's a water feature right beside the van here, and another one just at that building over there, and I think I can hear another one. Oh, there is one. Straight across from me, there's another little water feature between the buildings. So they're like fountains and stuff. So there was always that buzz in the air, that humming noise of the city that would, I felt better and more comfortable knowing that there was at least some ambient noise around the van, so I didn't have to stress and worry about people hearing me inside. First night living in the van, you don't know what to expect. You have no idea. So I'm gonna put my keys in. So I suggest to you guys to find something that feels comfortable to you. I know some people feel really, really good in in the backcountry, and if that's your sense of comfort, go for it. That's not my sense of comfort. Being a city boy, being here with some ambient noise around the van, knowing that nobody's gonna hear me go or my dog go it was my comfort. Everybody's gonna have their own comforts. A lot of people I know on my channel are really like, I couldn't do this. I couldn't do it with all the like high rises and stuff around and the busy traffic and the drunken hooligans. Very beautiful, very exciting moment. Okay, I gotta find a place to sleep. Let's go find a place to sleep. This is an area I've stayed in quite a few times before. There's just a lot of high rises around here. The ocean and stuff is right there. It's like a little canal that runs all the way through the city. And I know these areas, some people like shy away from, because these are townhouses in the bottom and then high-rise buildings right above it. But I like this area. And usually if I can find a little spot to wiggle in, I'll wiggle in. Usually never on this side of the road because that's where all the homes are, but definitely on this side. The problem is down here is that if you don't get here early enough, all the local residents and stuff fill up all these parking spots. But man, I just love it. I love it here because there's a huge water feature right there, so you get that little noise. You probably can't hear it. It's just great. And if you think about the lifestyle of the people down here, they're so busy and so consumed with their own lives. They're not concerned about what car is that and who owns that. And hey, there's a van with a roof vent on it that looks like a cargo van, or looks like it belongs with a service truck like that one. They're not really overly being too concerned about it. But I like this area if you can find a spot. This area, this spot is incredibly beautiful. There's a boat marina down there. That bridge is spectacular. One of my favorite views of Vancouver is actually just from the opposite side of the Cambie Street Bridge, looking into the city. Because where we are here is right at the edge line of like the most amazing city skyline. It's so beautiful. All right, I've often stayed down here quite a bit. And these are some places that a lot of van dwellers just don't go to. And that's what I like about having just like a standard work style van, is that I can park in front of this apartment building. Like if my van would fit in there, which it will not, I would park there. And then I could wake up to the ocean, the boat marina. It's beautiful. But sometimes down here, it's a pretty tough time to find parking. Look at that right there. Right there. It's a loading zone. Can't see it. If that wasn't a loading zone, I would have been there right now. Oh. Yep, this looks like a good spot. Let's see if I can get in here and stay within that parking meter though. The car behind me is pretty tight. Whoa. In all seriousness, let's break this down for you. I don't care what you live in. I don't care the type of van you have. All those vehicles on the street, boom, my van, no big deal. Go down the block, there's a bunch more vehicles. I don't think it really matters what you drive. You'll have no problems parking in a location just like this. Even if you got like a big old Chevy one that's rusted out a little bit, remember, it's 10 p.m. right now, so that parking meter is inactive. And if you are out of here by the time that parking meter kicks in the morning and any neighbors around here have a chance to kind of really notice you, you're in, you're out, you got a good night's sleep, what more do you want? That's the point about van dwelling in the city, is if you continually move every day, nobody cares. Come on. You think anybody really is gonna notice my van today? You think anybody would notice it if I had a surfboard on top and it was an old Chevy with like flower pattern on it? No. They're just gonna walk by. They're too busy with their lives and other things going on in the day that they're not gonna care about this. Van dwelling in the city, I think, is gonna be a whole lot different than van dwelling in a small town. Small town people got time to do this and phone the police. Downtown? These guys are way too busy doing way more interesting things than to worry about us sleeping on their streets. All right, doors are all locked. Whew. Hear the squeak? Stepping on CRUZ's toys. My van, it's such a freaking mess today. Had my daughter today and the van's been just, it's chaos. The question came up, is it harder to van dwell in a highly populated area or a smaller town where there's not so many people? And I'm only giving this advice from me because I'm a city boy. I find the city easier to van dwell in than a smaller city, for the reason that people in the city are way too busy with their own lives to care about a stupid car parked on the side of a road. Where you get into a smaller town and you got those people who have time on their hands, you know, like maybe like an older retired person who's just like, who's that van on the block, or what's that, I've never seen that in town, let's phone and freaking get it checked out. So I think van dwelling in a city is a lot easier because people just don't have time. They got better things to do than stress and worry about the van that's been there for one night. And that's the key, guys. Keep it moving. If you park in the same spot 5, 6, 7 nights in a row, of course people are going to notice and be like, hold on a second here, this is way too much. Or one night in, one night out, you just kind of, you're like just invisible pretty much. But I don't honestly think the type of vehicle you sleep in makes a damn difference. Take a look at Gus, my friend that you guys have met a few times, Gus in a bus. He's had no problems in his bus, and he's parked in some areas even down in like Long Beach, California, and has had zero problems in very wealthy neighborhoods. I think it's just all you, you know? But then when you get dogs that are on their squeaky toys, it takes the whole quote-unquote being quiet in your van and not drawing attention to it when it's like squeak, 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 squeak coming from the inside of a van. CRUZ, out of all the toys, buddy, you got to pick the squeaky one. He's, I like the squeaky one, Dad. The squeaky one's obnoxious, Dad. I like the squeaky toy. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little drive through Vancouver and me finding a parking spot. Normally I don't drive around this much to find a parking spot, but I did it for getting video footage for you guys. I just kind of just pull over. I find an empty parking spot with somewhere I'd love to wake up to in the morning, and I rock it. If I don't care where I want to wake up in the morning, I just pull over. Anyway, everybody, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have yourself a great day, great night, great afternoon, whatever it is. And hit that thumbs up, you guys. And hit that thumbs up if you didn't like the video. Hit subscribe. Please hit subscribe, no matter if you liked it or hated it. And hit that little notification bell. CRUZ. You think everybody knows we're in the van now? That's the great part about living in a city, is you can get away with noise that you couldn't in a small town. When people are walking by, they're like, Johnny, you hear that? Okay, all right, CRUZ, say goodbye to everybody. He said, give me my freaking toy. All right, see you later.